Just on time with the ding-a-ling-a-ding right there. Welcome back to the Player's Edge, everybody. Tonight is we're getting ready for the big weekend. What would you guys call the Breeders' Cup? Is it the All-Star Game, the Super Bowl? What would you call it?
The Breeders' Cup.
Thanks, Tom.
You go right to the point. Here's what I would call it. I think it's just another overrated day. Look, like you guys are probably a lot like me. You play every day, and it's just to me, it's just another day. It really is. I mean, if you get too caught up in it, you can really get hurt on this day. So I just try to handle it like any other day, make my wagers, and then move on to the next day.
And the voice that you hear there, folks, is none other than Steve Matthews. We would put his handsome face up there, but we don't unfortunately have a picture. Actually
had no face.
That's all right. We have 4 special guests tonight. Steve kicks off the show from Newsday. We're going to talk about the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, which is a win and collect points race for the Kentucky Oaks, excuse me. Then the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, those are both Friday races. That is a points race for the Kentucky Derby. And then on Saturday, we're covering the Distaff, which is just an amazing race, and then the Classic, which is the headliner to close it up before horse racing kind of goes on its holiday for the rest of 2021. So, Steve, we're glad to have you on tonight. We'll just kick it off right away and get straight to the picks. So everybody's time is limited, we know. So who do you like in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, race 7 on Friday afternoon?
Okay, Juvenile Fillies. One problem with this race, obviously, is it's just a 6-horse field, so it doesn't leave you too many options for those that like to bargain hunt, and I fit that profile, the kind of horse player who looks for a price. And the 3 lowest price horses look like the 3 most likely winners. I'm going to end up on the one that I think is going to be the better of the price of the 3, and that's going to be the number 2, Hidden Connection. This one's 2 for 2. She's fresh. She's rested. I love that with 2-year-old fillies. I love when they're fresh. I love when they're training sharply. They seem to fire their best efforts coming slightly off the bench. Not a long layoff, just a kind of a freshener. And I also think she may be under the radar, so to speak, when it comes to price, because trainer Brett Calhoun is not one of these really high-profile kind of guys like the other 2, the number 6, Echo Zulu, trained by Steve Asmussen, and the number 5, Juju's Map, trained by Brad Cox. So I'm hoping we're going to get 5 to 2 or better. I mean, I kind of call this horse like a low-priced overlay if we can get 5 to 2 on number 2, Hidden Connection, in the Juvenile Fillies. I said the second pick I'm going to make is going to be the number 6, Echo Zulu. Very obvious type. I mean, she's been ultra impressive in all 3 of her starts. There's really nothing you can knock on her, and the only thing you can knock, I guess, is the price. 4 to 5 morning line. I think she's going to be overbet. She's obviously her morning line is way too low for me to even consider, and she'll probably be at or below that price come post time. So we'll put her second, number 6, Echo Zulu. And then third, we'll look at the Brad Cox horse, number 5, Juju's Map. This one's 5 to 2 on the morning line. I mean, if you get that price, she may be worthy of becoming the top selection. It's all about price, the way I feel. Now, she outworked 41 other horses in a 5-furlong bullet workout last week. Kind of impressed me. I like when these 2-year-old fillies give you those quick works. So my top 3 in the first race, we're going to look at the Juvenile Fillies on Friday. It's going to be number 2, Hidden Connection on top. Number 6, Echo Zulu second, and number 5, Juju's Map third.
That sounds good. I think there'll probably be pretty common names throughout the night. The next race is number 10, that on Friday afternoon. That's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, a little bit deeper field, much deeper field. And these 2-year-olds, winner collects some points to head off to the Kentucky Derby. Who do you like there, Steve?
Yeah, now we got something to work with in the Juvenile 12-horse field. Big competitive field, and I landed on a nice price. I'm going to land on the number 7, Giant Game, 30 to 1 on the morning line. Now this developing 2-year-old, and that's what I look for with 2-year-olds, if they start to develop at the right time, broke his maiden in his last start. But it was the way he did it that really impressed me. He earned a very fast final fraction, and I look for that with young developing horses, that they can expend their energy late in the race. and that's exactly what number 7 Giant Game did when he broke his maiden at Churchill Downs last time. I really like that. I think he's going to have more to give come Friday. The price is just too much for me to ignore. And the other thing that kind of really put me on him is I think the potential favorite, I mean, he'll be one of my selections, the number 1 Jack Christopher. I'm going to make him my third pick. He looks a little vulnerable to me. When he won his Champagne Stakes, the final fraction, the last quarter of that race was exceedingly slow. 26-4 final quarter. I mean, that's harness racing time. That's going back to my days at Roosevelt Raceway. That's way too slow for me. And I think he's vulnerable. That's number 1, Jack Christopher. Now, they also have the potential of having a speed duel in this race with the 2 Baffert runners. Actually, Baffert's got 3 in the race, but number 9, Pinehurst, and number 12, Corniche, could hook up on the lead. And if they do, I think that'll set it up even better for my number 7 Giant Game. The price is certainly giant, and I think it's a good place to take a shot with a horse like this. In the juvenile, we're going to make number 7 Giant Game 30-1 on the morning line, top selection. Second position, I'm going to stay away from number 1 Jack Christopher. I'm going to put him third. Let's take a look at the number 9, the other of one of the 3 Baffert horses. And interestingly enough, this is the one that Mike Smith gets off. And that's why I like them, because I like when they do things. Because believe me, these jockeys they're not the brightest guys in the world. And not only that, their agents make the calls and they don't. Maybe the 9 can get the lead and keep on going. That's number 9, Pinehurst. Put number 1, Jack Christopher, third in the juvenile.
All right. So Pinehurst and the long shot earning the most points, according to Steve, to head off to the Kentucky Derby. Now we're going to go off to race number 10 on Saturday. So we're fast forwarding a day. That is the Distaff, and man, is that a loaded race. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, it really is a loaded race. Boy, it's loaded with speed. It's an 11-horse field. You got 2 runners from the Brad Cox barn, 2 runners from the Chad Brown barn, and 2 runners from the Bob Baffert barn. And I'm going to end up on a horse from the Steve Asmussen barn, of all places, the number 5 Clairiere, 12-1 morning line. Now, what really impressed me about this horse was her fast final fraction when she circled the field to win the cotillion at Parks last time. Very impressive move. And I think she's got more to give. You know, the final number was slightly off her career best, and I like that. That tells me this 3-year-old filly has a little more in the tank. She's got faster final numbers to go back to, and she's got faster final fractions to go back to. But last time out, boy, she overcame a real plodding pace. That was an explosive move. That was a fast final fraction, and the potential for a real speed duel certainly possible in this race with all the speeds that are signed on here, especially with number 6 Latruska, who's the morning line favorite. Hey, if she gets caught up in a duel, she could set it up for my number 5 Clairiere, and that's where I'm going in the Distaff. Second pick in the Distaff is going to be the number 2, one of the Chad Brown runners, Royal Flag. Now, this is another one. If I get that expected pace duel, the number 2 Royal Flag is another one that can take advantage. I love the inside position. I love the fact that she's got fast, late pace figures, and she can sit kind of what I call like in the stalker's seat, get a nice trip and make a late run. She's going to be a solid price too. She's 8-1 on the morning line. That's number 2 Royal Flag. Third one I'll give you, obviously, it's hard to overlook number 6 Latruska. She's 17 for 22 in her life. She's won 5 in a row. She could be the potential main speed. So put her on your tickets as well. But the top selection in the Distaff is going to be the number 5 Clairiere. Also use the 2 Royal Flag and the 6 Latruska.
All right. So finally, the show-ending race, the Breeders' Cup Classic. You got the young star 3-year-olds versus some of the more mature 4 or 5-year-olds like Nick Skov versus Essential Quality. What do you see, Steve? Are the young bucks going to win, or do you feel like the older crop is better than this current young crop?
Well, I'm going to end up on one of the young bucks. I don't know if so much that the older crop is better or the younger crop is better. It's just like who's better on this particular day and who gets the pace set up. Again, it's funny. It's the last race that we're going to be looking at, and it's similar to the first race we looked at. in that there are just basically three main contenders. The three lowest horses on the morning line are the most likely winners, and those are the three I'm going to look at. And once again, I'm going to demand 3-1 or better on the horse I'm going to play in this race. Whether I get that, I don't know. Maybe it's asking a little too much, but I think that's what you got to do, is you got to wait for your price, because of the three, they're all going to be over bet. But I'm going to land on the number 4, Central Quality, the 3-year-old, 3-1 on the morning line, 8 for 9 in his career. The only race he lost, obviously, was the Derby. I love that tractable sit and pounce style. I think he can get a good setup if the number 5 Knicks Go doesn't get away from number 3 Hot Rod Charlie. Maybe he gets a nice setup and he can make that one late run and get there. Obviously, the number 5 Knicks Go, the other Brad Cox horse, has to be considered. Whether he's going to be anywhere near his 5-2 morning line, I don't think so. I think he's going to be less than that. If he gets loose on the lead, obviously he's going to be tough. These are really like no-brainer races. It's the top 3 most likely horses. And then the number 3, Hot Rod Charlie, he can be sitting in that stalker seat. He might be the one that offers the best value. Obviously, it's a race day decision or a game time decision, because you got to make your decision right before post what you're going to do based on price. Put number 3, Hot Rod Charlie, third. So I'm going to make number 4, Essential Quality. Hope I get that 3-1 or better. I'm going to make him the top pick in the Classic. You got to use the 5 Knicks Go and the 3 Hot Rod Charlie. I know not a lot, very creative there, but they look like the most likely contenders and the most likely winners.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate your time, Steve. Good luck with your picks at the Breeders' Cup this weekend. Hope you find the value that you're looking for. Any final thoughts before you get up and out of here?
Well, good luck to you guys as well, and good luck to everyone else that's out there playing. I mean, hey, look, it is 2 great days of racing, but that's all it is, just 2 days. Season doesn't end for me after that. It keeps on going and going and going. It's been going for me for nearly 50 years. So, look at it for what it is. It's 1 day. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Enjoy it, and hopefully people will make some scores. And pleasure being with you guys this evening.
As well. Enjoy the South Florida sun and warmth. We'll talk with you later, Steve. Have a great night and a good weekend.
Bye,
Appreciate
Steve.
it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
And next up, our special guest waiting in the wings is none other than Ren Carothers. She's known as the Peta Geek, right, Ren?
Hi.
Is that right?
Yes, affectionately known.
I was trying to think of that. I was walking to go get dinner, and I'm like, what is her name? Peta what? Peta what? And I was like, Peta Monster? Peta what? I went, Peta Geek. Yes, I got it.
It has nothing to do with feet. It's unless you're talking about hooves of horses. But yes, and I apologize. Like, I'm a mess right now. I've been in the zone all day. Matt is out there at Del Mar. I am here on 3-year-old patrol and still trying to get my Breeders' Cup stuff out and into the world, so I can at least try to do my part in helping y'all with getting prepared for Future Stars Friday in particular.
Perfect. Yes. Well, we'll go from 3-year-olds to 2-year-olds. How about that?
That's right. Exactly.
So you're going to help us out with the 2 races that are qualifiers for the Oaks and for the Kentucky Derby. Race number 7 on Friday. That's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. That's a pretty short field, a pretty short price. Has anybody beaten her?
Echo Zulu, yeah, I mean, obviously she's the one to beat. And as I wrote in my pedigree profiles, which you can find on breederscup.com, I did one for the Juvenile Fillies as well as the TVG Juvenile presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. I mean, she looks tough. If you think you're going to beat her simply because she hasn't been around 2 turns, I think that it's going to prove futile. She's got plenty of pedigree to think that she can get it just fine. I mean, she's by Gunrunner. Gunrunner won he won the Classic and obviously had no problem getting 2 turns throughout the course of his career. And additionally, on that bottom side, I know that she's a half sister to a Grade 1 winner oh my gosh, I am trying to get, there's so many echoes in here. But one of her brothers won the H. Allen Jerkins, her half brother, but he's by Speightstown. So you're going to get that extra speed. Her other half brother, J Boy's Echo, by Mineshaft, he won the Gotham Stakes. He put up 102 buyer doing it. So it all depends on who this mare's been bred to. The mare herself by Menifee. Menifee, he could get a distance. He won the Bluegrass. He won the Haskell. And so there's just plenty of pedigree in there to really think that she can get it just fine. So I'm not concerned about her. I do think, the other 2 fillies look legitimate. that are short prices in there. Hidden Connection, I mean, she just blew out the competition in the Pocahontas. Juju's Map, she looks like she's breathing fire out there in the mornings from what I can see. I do think a horse at a price that could be interesting exotic-wise is Sequest. And if you want to know why, I'll expound.
All right.
Well, the thing with her is that Echo Town, by the way, that was the other half brother to Echo Zulu. But in any case, yes. So the thing with Sequest I find very interesting is I like pedigree patterns. I like to see if things actually keep hitting when you see certain things happen repetitively. Well, last year's Juvenile Fillies winner was VQuest. VQuest by Nyquist, and from his freshman crop. Nyquist, we know, won the juvenile. But VQuest, not only was she by Nyquist, but she was out of a Mineshaft mare, Mineshaft by AP Indy. Well, here with Sequest, we have a filly by Nyquist again. And in this case, her mother is a daughter of another son of AP Indy in Flanders Fields. And the interesting thing about him is not only is he by AP Indy, but out of Flanders, who won the 94 Juvenile Fillies. So you have that going for her. Additionally, I mean, if you go into her pedigree, her family is the family immediately responsible for the likes of Love and Pride Grade 1 winner, Cara Raffaella, and Cara Raffaella, of course, the dam of Bernardini. So it's a very classy pedigree, one that should love 2 turns. And so I think that she's a horse now a little bit older in the season here, later in the season, that she could potentially jump up. Tarabi, I mean, Cherie DeVoe is an awesome trainer. That filly, I know she's coming off a bit of a layoff, but I still think, I mean, it's a short but really, really good field.
All right. The juveniles, the boys in race number 10 is not such a short field. And trying to remember, was 11 horses and all of their lineage. That should be fun.
We got 12 in there. And
12. That's even more.
Yeah. And I mean, by the way, just real quick, going back to Sequest, I know I said she should love a distance. She did go that mile in the 16th last out in the Darley Alcibiades. If you watch that race, I mean, her performance was much better than it looked. People, I think, need to go back and just watch it and take a look at what she actually did in there. And I think that they'll see where I'm going with it. But yeah, going to the juvenile, I mean, I personally, and no knock on any horse, I'm a fan of every horse. And this is why I generally don't give out selections for the Breeders' Cup races I'm covering, because I want to stay,
neutral,
happy with everybody. Mm. But that being said, I'm going to leave Jack Christopher off everything. Your 9-5 favorite. For me, he's super talented. I feel like he's going to be a miler. You're by Munnings. Munnings is by Speightstown. You're out of a daughter of half hours like 7 panels. The dam is also a half sister to Street Boss, who, a late closing sprinter. And so to me, it's just a lot of speed. And you're going to be going this 2 turns in a mile 16th race when you have horses who are more purposely bred for a distance. And so I'm just going to say, you know what? Let him beat me if he beats me. And so therefore, I'm not, obviously Corniche, I think, has got a tremendous pedigree. He actually hails from a family that's really prolific. In the back end of it, you have to get to it. But on the surface of everything, he's by Quality Road. That's a horse who could carry speed and actually set records doing it. He beat his own record in the Florida Derby when he came back at 4 years old and won the Dawn and just absolutely crushed the competition by over 12 lengths. And then Wasted Tears, she was fast. She could set a record. She's by Najran, who he was fast. And I mean, he nearly, I've been saying this every time it comes up, but he nearly equaled Dr. Fager's record for a mile on dirt of 132 and 1. But the thing that I always put in the caveat there is Dr. Fager was carrying 134 pounds when he did it. But still, really good pedigree. You go all the way back, though, and this is family 1X of La Troyenne. And this family is absolutely prolific. You got so many Hall of Famers that are in the mix there. You've got a lot of Breeders' Cup winners, and you have a lot of Breeders' Cup juvenile winners, including last year's winner, Essential Quality. And another horse in this race at a very nice price, who is from the same family and even closer up in relationship to Essential Quality, is Oviatt Class.
All right. Does that wrap them up for you?
That wraps. I think it could go a lot of different ways in that race, but I mean, Command Performance obviously makes a lot of sense. I think he's going to get a lot of play, though. of other people trying to beat him. But I think that, you've got some horses in here. I always like horses that have already won over the track that they're going to be contesting in a situation like this. So that's why, again, when you look at a horse like Corniche, for example, who has a type of pedigree, who has a pedigree that gets, continues to flourish as he matures. I think, it's hard to look past him, especially when he's overcome, not just a wide draw. He's been on the inside 2-1, and you've got Mike Smith, who opted to ride him over Pinehurst, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. He got the choice in there. So that's the way I'm leaning toward things. I mean, call me chalk eating weasel, I guess, because but I did give some horses that could potentially be a price in Sequest for the Juvenile Fillies and Oviatt class here in the juvenile. So
one quick question for you. How do you do 3-year-old watch and then learn all this stuff?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the thing. That's why my hair looks like this right now. It's like, you don't do anything else. You just sit there. And my kid, I feel like I'm a bad mom. She just came over to me and she said, Mom, I've had 5 cookies. I said, 5 cookies? What are you talking about? Because she got a hold of the box from the pantry. So yeah.
Well, at least she didn't have 6, right? She showed some discipline.
Oh my, well now, right. That's after I took the box away. But I mean, what are you going to do? This is how we're trying to roll, get through Breeders' Cup and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys, I missed the discussion earlier. I don't know who you're going with in these 2 races.
Well, we're going to do ours at the end. Like we said, we're going to let everybody come out and make theirs, and then we're going to make fun of everybody's picks at the end.
Well,
no, we're not going to do that. I think a lot of the names are going to be the same.
Well, that's my take on the situation. For more, obviously, you can just follow me on the Twitter or the Facebook or whatever. I don't do the TikTok. I don't do the whatever the other thing is. Was it
Instagram?
Snapchat?
Or Instagram?
I'm on Instagram, but I don't even understand Instagram. I don't even understand it. I post on it, but I don't understand it.
I don't do any of it, so I don't understand any of it. I just let Sean take care of it.
Well, Sean's been very kind. Thank you so much for getting a hold of me. And I'm sorry if anything is disoriented, but like I'm going on fumes at this point.
Well, the amount of information that you just kicked out, if you're going on fumes, I don't ever want to get into conversation about pedigree with you ever. You bring it up, I'm telling you, I'm going the other way. What? Hey, did you see the sun today? Look at that up there.
Well, that's why in addition to talking about this stuff, I do, like I said, I do these write-ups and that way, it's you can digest it better. You can go back and actually look and read and go, oh, that's what she was talking about. Because I know it can get pretty confusing and convoluted when you really just start laying it all out there. When I'm coming from a breeding background as it is, so I speak the language pretty fluently. So I get it.
Absolutely. So we do appreciate you coming on, Ren.
Thank you.
We know
so
you got to
much.
get back to your work. And one last time, if people do want to read your articles with the pedigree, where are they going to find them again?
They just go to breederscup.com and you check out the news section there. So they'll have articles written by me, and then they'll have other articles related to Breeders' Cup 2021 that you can check out from other writers as well. It's very comprehensive, so I highly recommend you check it out over there. One last thing about Command Performance, though, I should say. I mean, that horse, if a horse is going to like going 2 turns, a horse by Union Rags out of a Tappet mare, you should definitely dig it.
Yeah, one quick thing. JW wants to know if you have any more Hawthorne tournaments. I'm not quite sure what that means, but
I am hoping, because freaking Jim Miller's he's my dude. Like, we love that. We were having so much fun with those. We had 2 broadcasts there from Hawthorne, and then they went and they did the remodel. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to do that in the middle of all the construction going on. And then obviously we know what happened in 2020. So hopefully we get that rolling back. I'm sure Jim would love to. The whole team there was so great, and they really enjoyed it. And so yeah, I think we'll get it back.
When you do, let us know, because Tom and I both live in the Chicagoland area. We'll navigate our way down to Stickney in the bulletproof cars and say hi.
You got to. Come on, get yourself in there, man.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Ren. Have a wonderful evening, and good luck on the weekend with your picks.
You too, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Ren. Bye.
All right, gents. So now we're just waiting on Robertino. Sean, any word from him?
No, he was. No, I mean.
Yeah, JW says that she and Jim are great at Hawthorne, but they wouldn't be as good as Tom and I. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that pedigree stuff, woo, she's good at that. Right now, I see why they call her the Petty Geek, no?
Yeah, she's good at it, yeah.
Unbelievable, the amount of information that she has on just at the top of her head about horses and how far back she can go. And to me, like, I can't remember what happened a week ago. Like Terry and I do our daily show every week, every day, Monday through Thursday. Today, Tom filled in, and of course, he made us look foolish because he steps right in and hits a $2,600 pick 4, scratches into it, and then it hits his fine Sasquatch on the first try. Yeah. Terry and I were always kind of running around trying to figure what's going on. All right, so we have.
Go ahead.
So Robertino's here, so let's bring Robertino in. We have Sara in the background waiting, so let's go ahead and get rolling. Robertino, how are you tonight, my friend?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hi.
Oh, thanks for coming for sure. As you know, Robertino is a trainer, does a lot of good work at a lot of different tracks. You have some horses running this weekend, right?
Yep, we have Lone Rock and Marathon and undercard on Saturday at Del Mar. So
fantastic.
Looking for big things from him.
Yep. Well, the last race kind of got caught wide, so maybe he gets a little better trip this time around. It seemed like he didn't get down deep and then got pushed wide. Was that Belmont the last race, right? We got pushed wide and finished, I think, third or something?
Yeah, he ran second. Like you said, he got hung out wide, and he's going into this race a lot better. We were dealing with a foot issue going into his last race where he missed a few days of training, and he's trained really well at Keeneland and flew to Del Mar yesterday and chipped well. So we're pretty excited about Saturday.
Well, fantastic. I wish I had known he had a foot issue because we had him on top. But anyway, let's talk about some races on Saturday and Friday and Saturday. We're going to talk about the 2-year-olds get started. Everybody's making their picks for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, race 7. It's a short field, as we mentioned. Echo Zulu seems like the logical choice. Are you going to pick against the Robertino in any way?
You know what? I am. I'm a big karma guy, and I don't like to move on the rider situation, and I'm going to go with Brad Cox in that race. His filly's doing well, and she's 2 for 2 going around 2 turns, and Juju's map. That's who I like. I know it's going to be tough to beat Steve's horse, but I'll go with Brad.
All right. Any other horses that you like in there besides the 5-horse?
Well, Hidden's Connection. I mean, she's only gone 2 turns once and was very impressive. She's going to probably be the speed of the race, I believe. I think she's going to make the pace honest to be, being down on the inside. I think it's going to make Gutierrez forced to go, and I think he's going to make the pace very honest, even though it's a short field.
So when you as a trainer look at this, obviously you have to kind of set up like what you and the jockey, what your game plan is. When you look at a horse like that, how do you go about looking at the program and attacking a horse like Echo Zulu? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think everyone in the race is going to think the same. That you don't want to get caught up just being focused on her and taking your horse out of their element either. So you got to be careful with that. But I just think the way Hidden Connection won last time, and again drawn to the inside of Echo Zulu, I think it's going to force them to go and make the pace honest.
All right, fantastic. And then in the 10th race, the boys collecting some points for the Kentucky Derby, you have a much more wide open field. I think the morning line favorite, if I remember correctly, is 4-1, 3-1, somewhere in that neighborhood. Who do you like there?
Okay, so are we going to the?
You're on race 9.
Race 9.
Rich keeps saying race.
Oh, I keep saying race 10. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking it's race 10.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm old. What do you want from me?
No. Well, I might get some people disagree with me, but this is Bafford's race. I think I like both the 9 and 10 Pinehurst and the outside horse, the 12 horse. I don't know. I think I've watched a couple of their works on the computer, and I don't know. I really think this is Bob's race. This is, Chad Brown's horse is a nice horse, but I really like both of Bafford's horses in here.
Everybody's running away from the favorite. That's interesting. All right. So on hopefully I got the races right on Saturday, Sean. So it is race 10 on Saturday. Is that right? I mean, don't be afraid to correct me. I don't want to yes people around. It is race 10, right? Right.
Race 10
race 10 on
yep.
race 10 on
Race 9.
Saturday. 9. Now you're confusing me. No, I'm talking about Saturday now. We move forward a day to the Distaff on Saturday.
Well, I think you got Lakuska, if I'm saying her name right. Love the connections. Got to meet the trainer last year at Oaklawn. Great guy, and I love what he's doing with this mare. And when mares get good, they're tough. And she's on top of her game right now. And there's no such thing as being unbeatable, but I think she's about as close to it as it comes right now.
Yeah, absolutely. How about behind her? You like anything behind her?
Oh, I think go with Cox. She's the daredevil. I think is going to be tough, but I just love this mare and Lakuska, and I think it's a one-horse race. I think she takes them wire to wire.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think too, if she wins, she's the horse of the year. So we'll see if that plays out too.
Yeah.
Finally, the classic, the last race of the day, the headliner is the Essential Quality Air Trainer. So how much of a difference does being 3 years old compared to being 4 years old compared to being 5 years old?
At this time of year, not as much, but at the same time, I'm going to take the old horse in the race, Nixco. A lot of it I'm basing that on is the age. I know it's late in their 3-year-old year, but I'm going to go with the 5-year-old, and I guess you can say the old veteran, Nixco, in the classic. I think his speed, the age, and obviously he's on a roll.
Yeah, indeed. He has been on a roll for sure. He's definitely going to be up in the early pace. I've always wondered about the age thing because some people make more of a deal out of it than others. And I would just figure it's like anything else, a little bit older, a little bit stronger, a little bit more mature, probably a little bit easier to train than the 3-year-old.
Yeah, no. And but like I said, I don't think it means as much at this time of year, but it still means, I think it means something for sure. A lot of nice horses in the race, but like I said, being 5 years old and his speed, I think Nixco goes wire to wire.
Going to be tough to catch. Fantastic. Well, we hope your horse goes wire to wire too on the weekend. And we appreciate you coming in, Robertino. Good luck, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
No, anytime. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Have a great night. All right. Finally, we save, as they say, the best for last, right?
Wow. No pressure.
Hey, no pressure on you at all, sir. Just like you didn't put any pressure on me earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Of course, this is Sara from Triple Clowns. We only invite the good Triple Clowns on. The other ones can stay home.
I know. I mean, why would you want the other ones anyways?
Yeah, we put a little bit of money on eye candy like Randy today or whatever, and it disappointed us.
I can tell you a lot of stories about that.
Fantastic. I'm sure you can, indeed. But as you know, we've been talking a little bit about the Friday races that I've been screwing up all day. So there you go. It's race number 7 and 9, right, Sean?
Correct.
All right, so race number 7, that is the Juvenile Fillies.
Yes.
It's got the big favorite in there, an Echo, something or other. Now I got too many echoes in my head after listening to Ren and going through all that pedigree. I can't remember the name. But in any case, what do you think about that race, Sara?
This is a tough race, and I'm playing Echo and Juju because I think they're just going to duel each other up front. The speed's up front there. They're going to duel. But the long shot I am playing here that I think if there is a speed meltdown that could maybe happen, this is a horse to pick up the pieces, and I like the 4 here, Tarabi. I think is the only really long shot possible to play in this short field. He got second to Echo Zulu last time out at 7 furlongs, so I feel if there is at all some kind of speed meltdown, Tarabi's going to be your horse to pick up the pieces.
All right.
So
And then the boys, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do 3 deep here.
All right. 3 deep. All right. So I'm a little confused now. All right. So you're going to go 3 deep in that first leg. Then at race number 9 is the boys, the juvenile. So who do you like there? That's a little bit deeper race. Apparently there's 12 horses in that one. It's in race number 10 instead of 9 instead of 10. So we got that finally straightened out at the end.
I think at this point you could just give up.
I might.
Yeah. This is a really interesting field here. You know, I know all eyes are kind of on the Baffert horses as well as Jack Christopher. And I'm playing against Jack Christopher. I'm really intrigued by Command Performance, the 10 here at 8-1. We're going to find out if he's going to break his maiden, but his performance in the Champagne Stakes the last time out, if you watch that, really interesting race. I think it really shows the form of this horse. If this horse gets a good break, I definitely feel like it's a good contender here. I am playing Corniche as well. He's won at Del Mar. A lot of my picks for Friday's races and Saturday's races, if the horse has performed well or taken to the track well at Del Mar, that is something to really look at. Corniche is one of them. He's dominated at 1 mile and 16th last month out. So I couldn't leave him off my ticket. Between the 2 Bafferts, I'm taking Corniche. I'm also really interested in Jasper Great. Coming over from Japan, had his first race and only race out at 1 mile and 1/8, dominates by 10 lengths?
Mm-hmm.
Very intriguing. I mean, out of Arrogate, 15-1. I feel like there's a lot of money you could play with in these races. And Jasper Great is one of them I'm willing to take a chance with. We don't really know what kind of horse it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good work. We'll see. I mean, that I did kind of dig deep to find the replay of the race, and wow.
Easy.
Yeah.
For sure. And then we're going to move to Saturday. So I'm not moving to Sunday yet, Sean. We'll do that in football. But on Saturday, we have race number 10. You guys really have me confused. And that's the Distaff with Latruska. I'm going to try to beat Latruska. It seems like a mixed bag on trying to beat her. What are you going to try to do, Sarah?
I'm trying to beat her as well. I'm going with She Dares the Devil. I've seen She Dares the Devil race at Del Mar, and it was unbelievable. I think it was very smart for them to ship her over here. I think it was in August. She's my play against Latruska. I'm very excited to watch She Dares the Devil take to the Del Mar track. Again, Private Mission is another one. This horse, yes, the rail is always kind of tricky, but this horse has performed decent off the rail at Del Mar. They're stretching this horse out. I think this horse has the speed to challenge the 1 post position and really get to the lead where this horse will need to be. So I just did 1-8 to play against Latruska. We'll see. Could bite me in the butt, but I'm very interested in these 2 horses.
A lot of courage there, leaving Latruska off the ticket. Okay, finally, it is the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's the last race of the day, race 12 on Saturday. We have Essential Quality. Robertino told us there is a difference between 3-year-olds, not much, and older horses, but still that the older horses have an edge. Are you going with the youngsters, or are you going with the gray hairs?
I am going with Essential Quality. I just think this horse is, much the best horse. I mean, really, this horse lost the Derby. I mean, a 19-horse field that we all saw the start of the Derby, which was just a train wreck, really. But I think, this horse is just so good. We saw him dominate the Travers at 1 mile and 1/4. So coming back to run this at Del Mar, this horse is. And the one thing I'm really interested is that if this horse wins the Classic and then he's going to go into retirement, I think it's going to be such a beautiful story because he won the Juvenile, comes in, has an incredible 3-year-old career. With the exception of the Derby, throw that race out as far as I'm concerned, and then comes to win the Classic. He's a very talented horse. So I'm rooting for him. But I also like Triple E as well. He won the Pacific Classic at, it's 1 mile and 1/4 at Del Mar, which I was there to watch. And that was such an impressive race to see him run. I mean, he battled with Tiz Magician in the stretch, but how he pulled through, it was really good. So I have to put him on my ticket. And I'm throwing in a bomb, and it's not really not much of a bomb considering a couple others, and he's a big question mark because he's always been a big question mark to me. Art Collector. I don't know what it is about this horse. I was kind of all eyes on him last year in his 3-year-old career. Now his 4-year-old career has kind of been all over the map, but the last 2 races, he seems to be doing great. So I'm like, maybe I'll try to jump back on that Art Collector bandwagon. I think he has a shot to at least hit the board. I'm going to be playing him in my exotics, but I am playing against Nixco and I am playing against Medina Spirit. Nixco, though, is the horse that always bites me in the butt because I've not been convinced of this horse since January. And every time I bet against him, it's a bad idea. So it's probably going to be a bad idea again on Saturday because I'm going to be betting against him. But I'm going 3 deep here with the 146.
And so that means you can lock in Nixco, right? Not a loser, but a lock. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Right?
So your crew, the Triple Clowns, put together a heck of a show for the Breeders' Cup. If folks want to watch that, where can they do that? I'm actually on there. Probably they made fun of me after I went off. I didn't click off the Zoom fast enough and I heard them, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, we had a great lineup. It was awesome to have Rich on breaking down 2 of the races, a Friday and a Saturday race. So the juvenile races will be going out on YouTube on the DGen Nation station as well as the Triple Clown station tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the full episode will be released and the clips will be released throughout the day. And then Saturday's card is going to come out Friday morning on both YouTubes as well.
And that's a Deegan Nation?
Yep, DGen Nation as well as the Triple Clowns YouTube. It'll be on both platforms. So
fantastic. You want to make sure you check that out because I'm certain that they had a lot of great guests. I know that because they had the best guest of all.
Of course, I know. And we told you that.
Oh, yeah. If you only heard the conversations before the camera comes on. But anyway.
Right.
Fantastic.
It was good to have Rich back on. We got to get the rest of you guys on as well.
Yeah, you have to bring Terry and Tom on for sure. Especially Tom, he's going to bring good luck. The first time he does anything, he gets it right. So first time you bring him on, no matter what you're talking about, he's going to hit some shots. He had that $80 horse today.
Oh my gosh. I know. That's it, Tom. You got to come on. Next time you're coming on because I need to win some money and possibly a lot after this weekend. We'll see how this weekend goes.
Well, it's an excellent weekend to win a lot of money because the money pools are deep. There'll be some long shots. The foreign horses, you don't know what you're going to get from them unless, of course, you read that big report that we put out last week and that video with Tom and Terry and myself for all the international horses at the Breeders' Cup, at least the European ones. So you want to check that out on Horse Racing Radar TV. Sara, any other final thoughts before I'm sure you wrap up what's been an incredibly long day?
Yes, it was we've been going since 6:00 this morning, but it was a good day. We've heard a lot of great stuff. And like Rich said, there's a lot of money to be made. And typically Saturday, I think we're going to be sticking to more of exactas, tries, supers, probably do pick 3s, but probably stay away from pick 5, pick 6s. We'll see how the day goes. The only really race we had that I don't think anyone can get around, and maybe you guys can tell me otherwise, is the sprint. Is it not going to be Jackie's Warrior? Because at this point, everybody's going to be singling Jackie's Warrior.
I think I actually picked against Jackie's Warrior. I don't remember who I took, but I did take somebody. I did not take Jackie's Warrior. Who else is in that field? I'll tell you who I took.
I like Special Reserve is in that field. Let me go over to it's race 8. We have Following C, CZ Rocket, Matera Sky, Aloha West, Forense Fire, Lexitonian, and Dr. Shivel.
Dr. Shivel, I took.
Dr. Shivel, watch that first.
Yes, I know the Reeves. In fact, emailed them off today, and they're owners of that horse. And Dean told me that he's got a good shot in both races that he has a horse in. I feel like Dr. Shivel is going to that workout that he just put down on paper. Look at that. What was it? 5 furlongs and like 58-2 or something like that. That's a pretty good workout considering the horse runs about 56 in the live race.
Yeah. He's another horse. I feel like this is a race that could shock everybody. I really do. If Jackie's Warrior somehow isn't performing to the form that we're all used to, I feel like it could be really anyone's game.
Well, I have my money on Dr. Schivel. The Reeves, as I've said before many times, if you haven't ever talked to them, two nicer people you'll never meet. They can canonize them right away because they are both just wonderful people. Anytime I've ever asked them for anything or sent them an email, they respond right away.
Oh, that's great.
That's the play, Dr. Schivel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Schivel for sure. All right, Sarah, we're going to let you get back to whatever it is you were doing before. We appreciate you coming on as always and look forward to talking to you again.
Yes, thank you guys, and good luck to everybody this weekend.
Indeed.
Hey,
Thank you.
thanks,
Good luck
Sarah.
as well. Have a great night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, gents. So now it's our turn. So let's go ahead. We'll start with who wants to go first? Who wants to make their picks first?
Well, I'll start. I'll start
All
with the seventh race at Del Mar. I like number 5, Juju's Map. Won his last day at today's distance, or race at today's distance, and of course, Brad Cox is the trainer and is ridden by Ren Carothers. Has a bullet workout, 5 furlongs, good track, 59.3, the best out of 42. Then I like number 6, Echo Jula. Is 3 for 3 in the career. Won easily all 3 of those races. She has the highest last race speed and the best dirt speed among today's starters. Then I like number 2, Hidden Connection. It's undefeated in 2 career starts, winning both easily, and a good workout on October 28th, 1 minute and 4, breezing 12 of 21. And then number 1, Desert Dawn, ran a nice third at Santa Anita, and will be closing to try to catch the leaders.
Indeed, yes. It seems like those 3 horses are going to be the ones that everybody's focused on. How about you, Tom? Who do you think is in that race going to beat the 4 to 5 morning line favorite?
I don't think you're going to beat it. Echo Zulu looks to be the best horse in this race. Collectively, she's won by over 16 lengths in her races. Her speed numbers are excellent. The switch to Rosario does not bother me at all. First year sire, of course, Gun Runner. These are his freshman group. Looks very good, but let's look on the dam side. She was a stakes winner around turns. She has 8 offspring that were all winners or in around turns, and one of those was a stakes winner. So the line on her is really good. And Echo Town, as Ren mentioned, yeah, he was a darn good horse. I went with number 3, Sequest, my next choice. Flying at the end without question. I tossed the last race because he lost it at the gate. Pace, I will set her up. There's no question. She was in the Akabas. She was 13 lengths behind, and really made a nice run to get where she got. And again, the Nyquist. Remember Nyquist sired the last year's winner, so not bad. Tarabat is my final choice, number 4. Good enough behind Echo Zulu, but she had problems with the gate in that race. She's worked steadily. First try around 2 turns, but she's also bred to do it, so that shouldn't be an issue. Post 1, she's had in her 2 of her starts. Now she moves to 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's got to help her. I really see that. And of course, this is, to me, a jockey's race. Just depends on how they play it out.
Yeah, indeed, for sure. So, Sean, you usually are big on jockeys races. That's your angle a lot of the times. Sean's just over there agreeing. Yes.
Yeah, and it will apply here too.
So how are you going to apply it then? Which jockey's going to win?
I'm actually going with the young gun here, who's having a career year, Ray Gutierrez. I think number 2, Hidden Connection, might be the highest price out of the 3. She has speed, but can also sit off, which she may have to do, sit off the 5 and 6 and come. She's already won at this distance, so I'm going 2. I used the morning line favorite second. Couple concerns. One, that's first time out of New York, and also the workouts aren't that great. 2 other concerns would be the speed, and also, you're getting an upgrade, even though Santana's been great besides the Keeneling meet. But you switch jockeys. You never know how a horse will respond with that. Like I said, it's not anything against how you just don't know. And then 5, Juju's Map, the other logical choice. Her last 2 races have been impressive and easy for her. But I'm going Hidden Connection.
I think Sarah brought up that Jackie's Warrior is the most obvious choice on the weekend. I felt like that Echo Zulu is the most obvious choice on the weekend. The horse just, to me, looks, besides the morning line, just that much better than the other horses in this field. I feel Juju's Map, Hidden Connections, to me, they're one and the same. Pick the one that has the higher odds at post time. And then I like Desert Dawn. The longest shot on the one horse looks to me as good as the other two that are in the race, so why not take the higher odds? I think it'll probably go up in odds, and those other three are probably going to go down in odds because the disparity between the top three and the bottom three, I think, is, at least on paper, kind of wide. Tom, the next group is the boys. It's the juvenile. That's a much bigger field. I think there's going to be a little bit more options, if you will. And I got a feeling that you're not the only one. Well, the other folks that we talked to aren't the only ones that are going to play against Jack Christopher. I think you probably will too.
Yeah, I have him for third. I went with the Baffert horse, number 9, Pinehurst, is my top selection. The jockey change doesn't bother me. He's 2 for 2. He's won well at Del Mar. He had issues at the start, his second start, and he still won. The works, especially the 6 furlong worth of 112 and 4 from the gate, is excellent work, and there's no question that this horse is on the right path. They laid him off for greater than 60 days to prepare for this race, so this was the focus all along. After it won its 2 races, Sara's produced some nice winners, but the Dam. It's got 3 starters. They're both winners, and this looks like it's going to be your first stakes winner. And distance, surface, no problem. It can only help her. Can't help them. I went with number 2, Jasper Great, as my second choice. This is a purchase, Falstaff Titan, U.S. purchase for the Japanese interest. They went out at Hanshin and won his first race by 10 lengths at 1 1/8 miles. His sire is Arrogate, and this is the first foals to race from him, but the Dam has produced 8 starters, 5 winners, and 2 of them are stakes winners. And they only paid $200,000 for this horse, so I mean, he looks really good. And if he can run anything like his sire, he's going to be right there. And as I said, Jack Christopher is my final choice. I'm not thrilled with the rail. The work is good. It's Jose Ortiz. Yeah, he knows how to ride the horse, and there's no question about that. But the breeding is not really that good. So he's kind of a freak.
Yeah, I like how Tom says, "Oh, they bought him for only $200,000." Sean, we know what we're dealing with.
Relative to what they spend on these horses, that's a pretty good deal, especially based on that Dam's production record.
Yeah,
only $200,000. I wish I had a Dam that produced 5 winners. I mean, that's and 2 of them stakes winners. You're gonna. When the sales ring when this one came up,
pocket change.
Well, I think part of it was because it's Arrogate, so it's
unknown.
You don't, and really an unknown quantity at this point. We don't know what he's going to produce. And unfortunately, he's not going to produce much more, but we'll see.
All right, Sean. Since we'll let you roll with your picks, what you like. I don't know. For me, only 200,000. I could use 200,000 right now. What about you?
Yeah, I could too. It's not only 200,000 for me. I like number 12, Corniche. To me, he's been the most visually impressive horse in this field. Also, may have the brightest future. Like Smith said, he could be the champion. He loves this horse. The outside post is no concern because he did this before. Also, the other speed in here, there is speed. One of them being Pinehurst. I can't imagine Baffert has both of his horses take out his chances here. So I'm going Corniche. And then if there is a pace meltdown, my second pick is number 10, Command and Performant. This horse will love the 2 turns and extra distance. And if the pace is too fast and falls apart, this horse will take advantage of it. And then I went Jack Christopher as the third pick, but I wouldn't play him as the morning line favorite as far as winning. We'll be right behind the speed, be tough, gets the rail. I prefer the 12 over the 1, though.
Finally, Terry, your thoughts about the juvenile boys, and which one do you think is going to earn the 10 points for the Kentucky Derby for 2022?
I think number 12, Corniche, has won 2 out of 2 career starts. The last one was at today's distance, and his trainer is Bob Baffert. Bob
Well, I mean,
Baffert.
that's a little bit of a slip right there. Terry.
It was
I
Bob.
wonder
Baffert.
if they fed him the good hay.
Maybe Bob Baffert, and he's ridden by Mike Smith, and he has the highest last speed rating, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 9 Pinehurst, won his last race at Del Mar, and is undefeated in 2 career starts. He's also trained by Bob Baffert and wins. And Bob Baffert wins 35% of the time with 2-year-olds. He has a good workout of 59.1 for 5 furlongs at Santa Anita. And then I like number 1, Jack Christopher. He's undefeated in 2 starts, winning his last one at Belmont at a mile on the dirt, and it was a grade 1. And the trainer, Chad Brown, wins 28% of the time when he ships a horse into a racetrack. And this horse has a bullet workout of 1 minute and 4 breezing, the best out of 20. And then I like number 10, Command Performance, closed at a mile and ran a good second, and now stretches out to a mile 16th, which I think will help his running style.
I have a hard time taking a horse that hasn't won yet, going up against the toughest field it's ever faced, right, with the 10 horse. But I think Corniche, I've heard, from listening to a lot of shows and a lot of people, that a lot of people feel like that's the best 2-year-old right now and could be the best 3-year-old next year. A lot of horses lose their form from 2 years old to 3 years old. I agree. This is Bob's race. The 9 horse Pinehurst looks like the second best horse to me. I watched that last race from Jack Christopher. I was not impressed watching it, but the bullet workout, maybe I was torn between that, and I do like Jasper the Great. I figured that's a horse that workout at the track, as Mike Smith told us, if a horse trains well, I think the workout was at Santa Anita though, but if the horse is training well, it tends to run well. The fact that horse, any horse that goes and faces a stiff field of 10 in its debut at a mile and change in its debut and wins by 10 is one that you kind of have to look at. And I feel like even though a lot of folks are maybe mentioning this horse, I got a funny feeling that 15-1, odds are actually going to go up, not down, because people aren't going to really know much about the horse. It's from Japan, whatever. Ran one time, not going to play it. And then I like the 3 horse that Ren brought up as well. I feel like this is a race where you're going to have an opportunity to get some price. Ovia Class, I looked at it, has some of the best late numbers in the race. And I feel like if the early pace does go a little bit hot, that's a long shot that can climb up in there today, like Tom Seven in the race number 3 at Del Mar. They paid $80 some odd dollars. Sean, I think this upcoming race that we're going to talk about now, the Distaff, when you look at the top half of this race, I think between them, they have in the last year maybe 2 losses, the top 5 horses. And then you have She Dares the Devil, who's the last horse to beat Latruska. So this race, to me, I think it's an amazing race and probably the one I'm looking forward to watching the most.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, the most spread out. This is where the money's gonna be. I think a lot of speed in here, and horses that need the lead too. You got speed. Private Mission number 1 was Latruska, the 7 Horologist. She Dares the Devil. She might be able to sit off, but also could be part of it. I like number 3, Malatat. She has only lost 1 race in 7 starts, and that was by a head. I think she could get a perfect setup here with all the speed. Has been off for over 2 months, but has been training really good, so that's not a concern. And then because of all the speed, number 2, Royal Flag, 8-1 morning line. Another that will benefit from that projected fast pace. This will be the 5th time Rosario is aboard, and the previous 4 of the horse hasn't lost by more than a length. And then I went with Latruska as the 3rd pick, and I would have loved to put her on top. The only reason I didn't was the speed. I'm not buying. I've heard some people say she looks tired. I'm not buying that. I don't see that. It's just too much speed in this race. I think she might be pushed too much.
I think she might have a little too much speed. Do you think she's going to be facing too much speed, Terry, or do you think Latruska is going to go home and possibly win Horse of the Year?
Well, no, I actually think she's the Dares Devil will beat her. She's 4 out of 5 this year and only lost at Belmont, and it was a race that Latruska won. But, she's also beat Latruska. So I think she has the high speed figure at today's distance and a good workout on October 31st of 5 furlongs, 1 minute and 3 breezing, second best out of 22. So, they've both been kind of beat each other. My number 2 horse would be Latruska, won 17 out of 22 starts. I mean, what can you say? That's pretty darn good. And she has the best dirt speed and is fastest among today's starters. She's beaten several of these horses that are entered in today's contest. Then I like number 3, Malahat, has won 6 of 7 in her career. She has the highest last speed rating and a bullet workout of 1 minute and 1 breezing, and it was the best out of 17. And then I like number 2, Royal Flag, finished in the money 100% of the time in her career. She's won 50% of those races.
Tom, this sets up for a race that should fit you pretty well. You got a lot of horses in here. I think you're probably good at spotting some value. What do you see as the value play?
I don't see value here. I think that this is a fascinating study of speed. And the first 2 furlongs are going to be really interesting to watch, because I think that'll give you some idea of how the race will be run, because the jockeys are really going to have to position their horses properly. So I went with Malathot, number 3. Sean echoed a few things. I want to point out that she's won from 7 furlongs to 1.25 miles. She can sit off the speed and be the quickest at the end without question. And I think Fletcher's got her where she needs to be, because her works are very consistent. I took number 1, Private Mission, as my next choice. I like the Del Mar races. I like the work at 58 and 4. She's got the 1 hole, so she's got some advantage because she likes to be on the front end. So she's going to force out a few horses, I think. And that could make it very interesting to see where her position is coming into that first turn. So, yep, she's stepping up in class without question, but she's on a 2-win streak, and 3rd win is very possible. As Terry said, She Dares the Devil is certainly one to watch. The thing I point out with her is really her 1 1/8 race that when she was a 3-year-old against Swiss Skydiver in the Kentucky Oaks. I mean, remember, she beat Gamine in that race, and that's her highest speed rating is in that race at the distance. So she's going to be one of the toughest horses here, I think. And she's got to get out. She's got to get positioned early. And based on her works, I think she's ready for a top performance.
Yeah, I think she's ready for a top performance too. I actually went with the 1 horse, Tom, Private Mission on top. I feel like when you looked at that last race, it was the first time the horse kind of went as long as it did, and it just got better as the race went on. And I feel like the extra distance here is not going to hurt. And you mentioned positioning. Which jockey is going to have a better idea or a better understanding of where to position this horse at Del Mar than Flavian Pratt? He's the top jockey in California, hands down. I'm certain that he'll make sure, can't say if certain he'll make his horse win, but I'm certain that he'll have Private Mission where she needs to be to have a chance to win this race. I think Latruska, when you look at it, it's just hard to argue against that horse. The horse has been phenomenal in 2021. I see no reason why it won't continue, and it should be better in her 3rd start off the layoff. I do think if that speed pace sets up, and it will set up, that Malathot's the one that's most likely to capitalize on it, and so I have it as the 3rd horse in the field. And I really had a hard time between She Dares the Devil and Red Flag because it's a contrast, right? One is the speed horse, and the other is the closer, and a lot of people feel like there's going to be a speed meltdown. I've seen too many races where you have that idea where like speed is going to go out to the front and 2 or 3 of the speed horses are going to completely die. But what happens a lot of times is those horses get so far out and get enough of an advantage that it discourages the other ones behind them dramatically, and they don't really change much as they come down the lane, as the other horses are just as tired because they're all decelerating, but they're not decelerating fast enough for the other ones to catch them. So I went with She Dares the Devil over Red Flag. And then Clairiere is a horse I like too in the back end. Last race was one of its best races in a while. Looks like that horse is coming back into form. Finally, Terry, the last race that we're going to talk about today is the Breeders' Cup Classic. $6 million race. Only $6 million in your lingo, Terry.
Yeah.
But in any case, who do you like?
I love Essential Quality. That horse has only lost 1 race in her career. Or his career. It was a Kentucky Derby, and he had bumped at the start, went wide into the stretch. He has bullet work October 31st at 59.2. He just hasn't done anything wrong that I can see. And, I've bet it several times and won on it. And then I like number 8, Medina Spirit. It's in top form, winning the last 2 races. He's beaten several of these quality horses. Then I like number 3, Hot Rod Charlie. Has won 2 races in a row. He has the highest last speed rating. He's tied with another horse, and he can improve with blinkers being added today. Jockey Flavrian Platt has a record in the last 7 days of 6 wins and 21 starts, 2 seconds and 3/3. And then number 5, Nick's Go, has won 7 of 9 of his last 9 starts, and his best third speed is the fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with Hot Rod Charlie. So,
and then you, Tom, what do you see happening in the last big race of 2021?
Number 1, Tripoli is my top choice. I like Pacific Classic race. The other race at Del Mar against Express Train, it just didn't have enough. But this is a horse that seems to be continually maturing and getting better. And remember, this started beginning of the year in allowance and optional claimer type races, and now it's winning the Pacific Classic. So there's a lot of upside, and being in that position, I think, really helps a lot. Its last race was too wide of a trip. Well, that won't be a problem here because it's got the 1 hole. So if it's wide, then there's something else is going on because, but again, placement will be really key for this horse.
And if you look in the past performances, the last couple times the horse had the rail, it's, I think, won 3 out of the last 4. So it seems to me that's a horse that wants to be on the inside.
Yeah, I think that's a preference. And I think the too wide is just the horse is not going to produce from that kind of a trip. I did go with Terry's choice. Number 4, Essential Quality is my second choice. Again, the only hiccup is the Kentucky Derby, and I refer to that as a fun-filled trip. He's got tactical speed, the pace. He can sit behind. He can wait. He's very much a kind of a push-button horse, and when you ask him to go, he does it. And he's beaten some decent 3-year-olds. This will be a real challenge for him here. And I think the 4-post position is absolutely ideal for this horse. If he got caught outside, I would say Ian, though. But here, I think this is where he needs to be. And this is his chance to prove that he's the best 3-year-old, period. Max Player is my final choice, number 9. His last 2 at 1.25 miles are gems. The 2-turn at Saratoga was a really nice run. The Belmont, of course, where they start the 1.25 race is weird. But on the other hand, it was I think it was a better race. It was on a sloppy track. He was a bit wide, but he still won. And this is a question of, is this horse the right place at the right time? The only question I have is, will it like Del Mar? And, this horse does not work great.
No.
It's lazy, to say the least. But the results prove that it does run. And Steve Evans, I think, is going to have this horse in the right place to be able to put a good effort in here.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Sean? How are you going to close out the Breeders' Cup 2021? Hopefully with a winning ticket, because Lord knows we can use a few winning tickets with our sports picks, but fire away with your horse picks.
So I agree with Terry here, although now I'm afraid to use the word love. You know how that works out for us when we use those kind of words. So I won't.
I know it. You're finally learning, Sean, the other L word that took you a long time to get.
I heard somebody else said it, and I went, oh, there it went. But I went Essential Quality, in my opinion, the best horse in the race, and will also get the best trip with the speed battling in front of him. Only lost that one race. That was the Derby, and we've all agreed, he did good to get 4th in that race. So that was a good race as well. I went Max Player second. The only horse in this field to win at this distance won it once, won at it twice. And won 2 races in a row since switching running styles, been closer to the pace, and that seems to have this horse on the right track. And then I went with Nick's Go third. It comes down to 2 things. Can he get the lead, and how comfortable can he do doing it? And then also he's handled the distance for the first time as well. We'll be in the mix, of course. I think he'll be in there, but I'm going to take a shot against him.
I think that you guys were talking in the last race about a speed. This race, I think, is the one where the speed's really going to come into factor, because Knicks Go can only win on the lead. Medina Spirit only wins on the lead. Hot Rod Charlie only wins on the lead. Art Collector only wins on the lead. They need the lead.
Yep.
So they're going to have to get to the lead. Maybe some of them, maybe Knicks Go being the more mature horse, can do so without it, but he hasn't done it yet. So I think the way this is going to set up is you're going to have Knicks Go, Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, Art Collector, out of the gates. And then Essential Quality, like Tom said, is going to pull in right behind and go on, a little faster. And at the end, as Tom said, push the button. There goes Essential Quality for the win. I do think Knicks Go, being a more mature horse, is the one that's most likely to hold its speed because it's a little older, a little stronger. I do also think there can't be a better story. As much as you say Essential Quality coming back to prove that it's the best three-year-old horse on the planet, or at least here in North America, will there be a better story if Medina Spirit wins? I mean, a horse has been through a whole bunch of stuff this year, none of which it had anything to do with. Just some people errantly feeding it bad hay. That wasn't the bad hay horse. That was the inadvertent massage horse, right?
That's right. Yes.
And then I feel like Hot Rod Charlie is another one. It's as much as the horse seems to struggle, it's a hard luck horse, but is always there, right? At the end of the race, the horse gets up to the front. You think, look at it, he's going to die. He's going to bad word for horse racing. Strike that. He's going to fade. And then he just hangs on. He's a fighter, and he fights to the end. And then to me, it's a toss-up between Art Collector and Tripoli. I liked what Art Collector has done on the rail, as Tom and I talked about. But that last race from Art Collector was visually impressive. So I can't overlook that. That horse looks like it's on the upswing. So I'm going to go with Essential Quality on top of Knicks Go, Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, and maybe Art Collector or Tripoli surprises. And those are the ones I think will have a chance to upset the top horses. All right, guys, that's the Breeders' Cup show for 2021. Are there any other horses in any other races that you have identified as one that you really, really love and that you want to bet on, Tom?
Yes, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, number 12, Malavat. It's a French horse who has 2 wins, both at Chantilly, and a second and a third. Really good race last time out with a top rating of 106. This is coming into, just into the going and everything else. Yeah, it has 12. It's got Ryan Moore up, and if anybody can negotiate from 12, I think he'll be the one to do it. And she's had top jockeys like Olivier Peressier on her, and so she's attracting the best. And I think he will bring this horse in.
How about you, Tom? Terry, is there a standout horse for you that you're looking at on the Breeders' Cup weekend that you say, man, I can't wait this one to put money on it because, boy, am I going to collect?
Yeah, I think we've already talked about it. Dr. Schreiber. To me, that horse is going to beat these other horses, and it's going to give you – I think it's going to be better than 4-1. I think a lot of money is going to go on Jackie's Warrior, and quite a bit of money I think is going to go on Following C. So I think to me, that's a horse I'm looking forward to playing. So
that's one you're looking forward to. How about you, Sean?
I'll give you 2. Race 9 on Saturday, Smooth Like Straight, 10-1 morning line, definitely being the exacta. And then race 11, I really like Domestic Spending.
Yeah, you raced the Domestic Spending. Line.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for one of my favorite horses. I'm going to go in the everybody was afraid of Gamine, right? So I'm going to bet against Gamine. I'm going to go with Bella Sofia. The horse has better early pace numbers than Gamine has, and has better late pace numbers than Gamine has. I think Gamine's probably going to be maybe aside from Echo Zulu, might be the lowest favorite. You guys agree on the weekend of all the horses that are running? Yeah. So if Gamine is the lowest favorite, it gets beat. No matter what, you're going to get good value. From my standpoint, if I can get in front of you in a race and then you can't catch me, that tells me I have a shot to win. So to me, that's my favorite horse on the weekend because I feel like it's the second best horse in the race, but its odds are probably going to be pretty good because Gamine's odds are going to be so low and everybody's going to be chasing that horse. So that's my favorite upset of the weekend. All right, guys, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here and place our bets for the weekend?
Well, we'll go back to the classic. The irony that Medina Spirit's on the outside with a bunch of speed on the inside.
Yeah,
Maybe he should have ran the Parks race to figure out how he was going to deal with that. Baffert should have ran him to deal with that.
Yeah.
He's at home track now, so he's going to get a good break. Look at the early pace figures. He should get out of there pretty easily. All right, Tom and I will be back tomorrow in Terry's absence to do the Horse Racing Today show. We'll see if Tom can back up his $2,600 scratch to win ticket like you get at the lottery. He scratched to win.
We can get it. I'll take it.
Hey, and Tom, I played your 3-place pick, $20 parlay. Yeah, so I won on that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you didn't win on mine, Terry, unfortunately, because I don't think I had a horse that came home.
I'm sorry I didn't play yours.
Oh, yes. I can't blame you. You're on the show with me every day.
That's right.
You know better. All right, folks. So that wraps up the Breeders' Cup show for this week. As always, we appreciate you coming. If you like what you saw, Terry, what should they do?
They should they should like us on Facebook, and yeah, that's true. And then Twitter us and tweet us, which I don't do any of these things, but and then on YouTube should subscribe to our channel on YouTube. So
yes, and give us a thumbs up. We appreciate those. It helps us move up their algorithm, the ratio, as the kids say. The better the ratio, the higher we go, for sure. And as always, folks, we wish you nothing but the best of luck this weekend at the Breeders' Cup. Hopefully all of your picks end up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely, folks. Have a great weekend. Best of luck with your bets. Hope you cash a lot of tickets. Make sure you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet and see who we like as well. Have a great